Robin.
Very excited to meet Jack Osbourne for the first time. Promoting God Bless Ozzy Osbourne now at the Tribeca Film Festival.
Yes.
Jimmy went to the movie last night. Hey, Jack.
How you doing, man?
Pleasure to meet you, man. We've talked to the entire family now, just about.
Except for you, yeah.
Except for you. Jimmy went, of course, last night.
Yes, he was, and he's wearing the shirt.
And rave reviews, sir. Rave reviews on the movie you did about your dad there. God Bless Ozzy Osbourne.
Thank you.
What a smart idea, too. The minute I walked in, I saw all the press had these shirts on. I immediately thought of your mom. I don't know who's in charge of the press. I'm like, what a smart idea. It immediately made it a different event than anything else at Tribeca. Because I went to something else, and literally as soon as that was done, you don't even know who was in the room.
Yeah.
But this was just a brilliant... Whoever your PR people are really smart.
The T-shirts was mom. It was like total last minute, too. About, like, I think last Thursday, she was like, let's get T-shirts made. So we had to scramble to get that done.
I was thinking to myself, like, why don't I think like that? I mean, I'm not a rock star, but I'm like, that's a smart move.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how was it, too? I saw you on the red carpet, and De Niro. Did you know De Niro was going to be there, or did you guys not know?
I'd heard that he might be there, and then he turned up, and it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and all the pictures, you look like he's just standing next to you laughing.
Yeah. Well, because they all started to be like, Bobby, Bobby, and then my mom said something like, they're talking like they know you. And he just started laughing.
Oh.
I have a feeling that Sharon had something to do with that. Bobby, you get your ass over to this freaking premiere tonight. Your mom is a powerful woman, is what I'm saying, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
We've all seen that for many years.
People are scared of her, too. Like, it's she's always been so nice to me. But you could see backstage, it's like everybody knows. Like, you really don't want to fuck up.
One day you'll fuck up.
No, I won't.
That'll be hysterical. You would kill yourself if you ever got Sharon mad at you.
It would just be awful because you'd
be so disappointed in himself. What did I do?
But no, it was funny watching backstage how everybody kind of knows.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I think the reputation though is harsher, than the actual bite.
Yeah.
All you needs is a couple incidents, and you get a
that's true.
reputation
Yeah.
of being a hard ass. I mean, she's like the sweetest woman ever, though.
Are you more like your mom or your dad?
I think I'm more like my mom in some ways, but there's the obvious, kind of like my dad and others.
And you got a great story. You've really changed your life around at an early age.
Thank you.
Kind of like Jimmy, as a matter of fact, because Jimmy was going down this weird path as a 17-year-old and changed his entire life.
Yeah, when I was 18,
too.
I got sober. So, yeah. How old were you when you cleaned up?
I was 17.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're exactly the same almost.
Yeah. I see it's a bit parallel.
And people always like, sometimes you feel like, well, I was really young, and people are like, dude, you couldn't even have done anything by that age. It's like, you have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you know Jack at 17? For sure.
I used to make jokes about it when I was like early on when I was drinking, and the whole thing would be like, oh, admitting it's half the battle. Like, let's crack one open. But yeah, I mean, you just kind of know. It's like, when you're pickled, can't become a cucumber again.
Yeah. Right. Did watching your dad have any influence on you? Like, you saw where things could progress to?
I wouldn't say it was influence. I was always kind of aware that, like, where dad, because I'd always been around it. Growing up, it was, dad was constantly in out treatment, and it would always been kind of, ground into me, like, be careful, and, and then, you hear stories of, like, when things are always cool in, like, the 70s when everyone's taking acid, and, I was like, that sounds like so much fun. But it's, I think regardless whether I drank when I was 14 or, if I'd waited till I was 21, I think that, the end result would have always kind of been the same.
Yeah. Just too much.
Yep.
But it's
excess.
It's a good feeling, though, because when you're 17 or 18, it's like, all right, I got that horrible shit out of the way, so now I kind of feel like I can progress and have a... But it's almost like if you would have started when you were 21, who knows, you might have driven into a pole and fuck... That's why I look at it.
I mean, I used to drink and drive without a license when I was like 16. It's like just stupid things like that. When you grow up, you're like, what was I thinking?
Right.
Good thing that was over 7 years ago. So if the police are
right, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
8 years.
Oh wow. Okay. So I didn't realize it was.
Damn, that's a long time.
That is a long time.
Do you ever regret doing the Osbournes? Like, do you ever feel like it exposed too much?
I used to, but when things were when there was a lot of heat on us from the Osbournes, I was like, oh, why did I do this? This is the worst mistake of my life. But it opened so many doors, and it it kind of just kept me going these last 10 years. So you can't really hate on it.
Sure.
And I want to ask about you getting sober. Extreme Celebrity Detox was a show in England that you did?
No, that was it was like I've been sober 2 years, and I did this like one-off show in England called Extreme Celebrity Detox. And then that kind of kicked off. I had my own show over there for about 5 years.
It was a good show, by the way.
Thank you.
The Adrenaline show.
Yeah.
How did you get sober? How did
Mom and Dad kind of, because my mom was really sick with cancer, so kind of all focus was on her, and I just kind of went off and did my own thing. And then when she went into remission, she got a phone call from a friend of mine, and she was like, you know, Jack's not in a good way. And then, like, a couple weeks later, my mom kind of like, hey, it's time to go to treatment. And I was like, nope. Took off running, and I disappeared for like a weekend, then came back, and, you know, I was like, all right, let's do this.
Did you get some partying done?
Oh, yeah.
In that weekend?
Yeah, you had your one more.
Yeah, it's fun. No,
because did you know? You knew they were coming for you, and you're like, I'm going to get
like,
one more in.
Exactly. I was like, you know, at least got to have one last hurrah, and it was really strange. Don't really remember much, but my whole thing being 17, you know, 420 was still kind of a big deal.
Right.
So I got sober on 421.
All right.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah,
Just passed. That's great. 8 years. That's fantastic. I can't believe it's been that long. It's like we forget that the Osbourne started, what, in 2002? I mean, it's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And I remember we interviewed Kelly, remember in Philadelphia?
Sure.
Yeah.
And you seemed a little odd because you had like military garb and, you know, a little gun. And she got really mad because you're like, yeah, your brother seems like a little, it wasn't anything bad you said. You said he was like a little, you said he seemed like a little
quirky or
a little odd. And she's like, that's my brother. Like, she got really pissed off.
Yeah, she was going to rip our throats out.
Yeah, Kelly gets pretty thug life like that. Don't say anything about the family. You know, you'll end up in the river.
That's good, man.
I think that really kind of made people like the family a lot. It was like, all right, here's the father that we all think we know. And then you see how kind of clannish and together they are and supportive. And it was like, wow, how can you not like these people?
Mm-hmm. And Jimmy likes the movie because it seems to be very honest.
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole thing with it. I didn't want to make your typical, like, you know,
Only
MTV, like,
only
rockumentary.
show some of the stuff.
Yeah, you know, with like the ripping guitar solos between scenes, and then Ozzy bit a bat's head up. You know, I didn't want to make that film, and you know, I wanted to kind of the whole, I guess, ethos behind it was to kind of show Ozzy in a light now that no one was aware of, because he still kind of had this stigma attached to him from the Osbournes of like this kind of awkward, bumbly, kind of, you know, almost buffoonish guy. And since he got sober, it's just not the case.
No, not at all.
And I was getting kind of fed up that, like, mainstream media was still kind of had this stamp on him. And it was, you know, so I was like, well, you know what?
And they'll have that stamp for years to come.
Yeah.
Even though you're showing a different angle. That's just how they play that crap.
Yeah, I mean, it's like first impressions are the kind of last impressions, really.
Yes.
It's always, you know, I mean, people still think I'm 16 running around my parents' back garden.
Jimmy's Ozzy's biggest fan, and he saw not only footage he's never seen before, which is amazing because Jimmy's seen everything.
Yeah, it was great to see that
and you learned some things about Ozzy, right?
My favorite part of it, I won't give away everything that was said, obviously, but it was what you don't see in the other documentaries was really all the children. Like I had seen Lewis. I had never seen Ozzy's other daughter from his first marriage. Amy, you very rarely heard her speak, but all the kids talking about what Ozzy was like as a father, and it wasn't glowing. And I was thinking to him as I was watching this, like, I wonder if it was the first time you guys had all watched it together. Was that hard for him to hear that, you think?
He'd seen a rough copy 6 months ago, so he kind of, I think he was a new, the rough idea of what everyone was saying. So, I mean, I know it was tough for him at first, but it's nothing he hasn't heard before. You know, nothing that, when heated arguments have occurred that he hasn't heard us say. I think it might, it probably was the toughest to hear from Jessica and Lewis, because, he really wasn't around that much for them.
They're much older, too, obviously.
Yeah, and they have their own families.
How old are they? About?
I think Jessica's 38 or 39, and Lewis is about 36, 37, somewhere around there.
And they're also, adults now, so there's no life in sobriety with him, what they can kind of see, like, hey, this is how it is now.
I'll tell you what, though, his relationship with them is really improved. I mean, they speak, sometimes more than I'll speak to him. They're always on the phone, and Dad's really kind of proactive with the grandkids and stuff. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, he's always going, because they live really close to us in England, so he's always driving over there to hang out with the grandkids and stuff. So
you've done films before this one?
No, not really.
No, okay,
No.
that's what I was going to ask you. Now, getting into it this way, this seems like, not that it would be easy, but you have universal access to your own family like that. Do you see this as something good to be kind of a first project, or maybe you're kind of really spoiled now?
Well, yeah. There definitely, is that. I mean, I compare it to this. If my dad was a plumber, and I was like, all right, I want to get into plumbing, and I'm going to be a plumber's apprentice, no one at the building site would go, oh yeah, he's loose kid, he's fucking plumber, like whatever, screw him. And I think that's the really unfair thing when your parents work in entertainment. Why is it such an insult when the kids are trying to work in essentially the family business?
Right.
So it's kind of that's the kind of.
I think the more talented the parents, the more the kids have to live up to as far as talent goes. Instead of it's like, oh well, he's obviously just riding the coattails of someone that had talent, and that has been the instance in some cases with children of celebrities. They have just sucked,
Yeah,
Eric Douglas, great example. Kirk Douglas, Michael Douglas, Eric, not so good. Not so good.
Yeah.
It's still time.
No, not for him.
Well,
I'm so stupid. He's joking. I'm going to give him a literal answer. What a fucking asshole I am.
Literal Jim.
What a non-comic.
So you want to make more films? Is that going to be your thing? You think?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the process.
Yeah.
It's the whole. Kind of from start to finish, I really get a kick out of it.
Where are you at in the music world? Because I know you used to, during the Osbournes, I guess, you were producing some bands here and there.
I think the main question is what music world? I mean, it's kind of, unless you're coming out with a 14-year-old singer from Canada, you're kind of dead in the water.
That rock genre has just had the shit kicked out of it, huh?
Yeah. Although I did find this amazing band in Los Angeles, actually. They're all 11 and 12-year-old little rocker kids, and they're ripping.
Really?
Yeah.
Whatever they're doing is what's going to be huge.
Well, I just literally, I was blown away when I saw these kids play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it Dice's kids?
Yeah, that's why I asked.
I know.
Andrew Dice Clay's sons play in a band, and they're actually really good. There was only two of them, though. There was Dylan and Max. One was drums, and one was guitar and singing. And
we're not just saying that because we like Dice a lot.
They're actually really good.
His kids seem to have a little talent for the rock music. Yeah. I forgot the name of the band even. It's been a while.
LA Rocks.
LA Rocks, yeah. How
many bad fucking demos do you get handed? It must be a lot.
Not anymore. When we were doing the Osbournes, I literally would get hundreds a week. And it was, pretty bad.
Awful.
Did you save them at first, and then you're like, I can't throw them out. It's somebody's art. And then after a month, you're like, fuck yourself, right into the garbage.
No, I never ever threw any away. I've got boxes, in my garage with all these strange demos, and this is my progressive folk electro band, predominantly synth, and you're like, all right,
this blows.
Yeah.
There was something I wanted to mention too that I noticed in the because it was really very moving when Ozzy was talking about his father. And his relationship and how he wished certain things were different. And, it was really, really relatable and very moving. But I noticed he didn't really speak about his mom at all. There was a minimal amount, but there was no affectionate talk at all about his mom.
Yeah, I mean, his relationship with his mother was, she kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't kind of really want to speak out of line about, kind of, that situation, but it was... he definitely had a better relationship with his father than his mother. And, I mean, there was, we did have stuff of him talking about his mother, but, like I said, we just couldn't, there was 63 years, we had to cram into 90 minutes.
Right.
So, we had to really pick and choose our battles. And, and it was, I mean, she passed away in, I think, 2000. And, I think there was a lot more closure with his mother passing away than with his father. But, yeah, he just kind of, I don't know, he doesn't really speak that much about his mother. He wasn't that close with her.
The Randy stuff was great, too. They do a very...
Yeah.
They kind of... first time I ever heard Randy Rhoads talk.
Yeah.
I never fucking heard Randy Rhoads talk. Never heard him speak.
That is, as far as we know, one of the only, tape-recorded interviews with Randy Rhoads.
He was really... There's very, very little footage. Apparently there's some documentary supposed to be done, or someone's got a lot of Randy footage. But except for the one that you showed from, I think, Rochester, the very famous...
Yeah.
Clip, there's almost nothing on fucking Randy. It was one sound check that somebody filmed, and it's all in shadows. It's really, really hard to get stuff on him.
Yeah,
and
it really is.
It was nice to see him talk a little bit.
Yeah. It's I mean, that whole section just chokes me up the whole time.
Yeah.
you know, because it's so. I mean, that guy was a god, and he's just so screwed up.
It says a lot about your father, too, to me, the way he showed loyalty. Rhoads died in 82. It's fucking 30 years ago, and they were together for 3 maximum as a partnership. Yeah. And he's never stopped talking about him. He's never, like, refused to keep him in the forefront, which kind of tells you a lot about him as a guy and being very loyal.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he dedicated his book to him. You know,
he did?
Yeah. When we were originally cutting the movie a long time ago, because we'd kind of had numerous cracks at it. There wasn't that big of a Randy section, and then Dad's book came out, and and Dad's very kind of coy about what he would talk about and when he would choose to talk about things, and he would talk to me about things that he wouldn't talk to Mike, my director, about things, and it was very, it wasn't like just bearing all instantly, So, and then when the Randy book came out and he dedicated the book to it, I was like, well, I really think we should explore the Randy story a lot more, and that's why we kind of went back in and and really beefed it up.
And you worked on this film for 3.5 years.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
And did you have your hands in it like a lot with editing and music and?
I find there's a really strange with documentaries. I find there's a really strange thing that happens when a director and a producer sits like on the editor. Because an editor's job is to edit, and they're good at it, and producer produces, director directs, so I kind of took a step back and just let the editor do his thing, and I'd come in and we'd help structure, and I'd know footage that the editor might not have seen yet because there was so much, and it was a full team effort through.
Did you have a couple of circumstances where you were just like, "Hey, that was good"?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Cut that out. Come on.
No, that was like right at the end too. I mean, my producer Mark and the other director Mike Fleiss, we were in the edit having a huge argument a couple of weeks ago about some footage because we couldn't get the clearance for this one shot, and because we just couldn't find it.
Oh, shit.
And it was and it's from CalJam, and it's really crappy quality. Like, we got it off the internet, and we're like, and the director's like, I want to keep it in, and we're like, no way, it's so bad, it totally makes the movie look hokey. And so this whole thing kicked off about that.
Who won?
I think we won.
It got pulled out?
Yeah, because it just looks, because the CalJam footage is awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
And then all of a sudden it cuts to like grainy, like internet footage.
Was it an interview piece, or was it actually on stage?
No, it was actually, because it goes from, when Bill Ward talks about they were going on stage, having taken loads of acid.
Oh, right, yeah.
And my dad just goes, it's CalJam. He goes with Mike, and he's all like out of it, and he goes, never seen so many people in my life. And then it goes into the song, but I mean, the shot's great. And you can tell they're really blitzed. But.
Yeah, and it was funny. It was a great cut because it was like, it was like 74, and everybody was kind of, they were dressed in like real 70s fucking acid-looking clothes. And it really was a nice...
The great story about CalJam, though, is that Sabbath wasn't actually meant to play. There was a big kind of ordeal about them being on the bill, and like 2 days before the festival, they hadn't even practiced done anything for 6 months. And Tony called everyone and said, hey, we got to go play this CalJam. It's going to be huge. And they literally jumped on a plane, just brought their instruments, rented whatever else they needed when they got out to LA.
Hey, we want to play.
Yeah, and they just kind of rocked up and played. And there was like 700,000 people there.
Why weren't they supposed to? Sabbath in the 70s, it was amazing how many gigs I thought that they should have gotten. And it was always kind of passed over. Zeppelin was always seen. We argued it all the time. And Zeppelin to me was always overrated compared to Sabbath.
Well, there was, for a while, there was a huge kind of Sabbath-Zeppelin battle. It was kind of like, Stones, Beatles kind of thing for a minute.
Yeah.
And it was, they were all friends in England, but like in America, they were kind of rivals for, a short time. But I kind of like that, they were the underdogs.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they weren't sexy. Like, I'm not implying that I want to fuck Robert Plant, but you understand the point. It's like, that was what they sold with his fucking open shirt and his big dick bulge, and Sabbath was just, Geezer said it in an interview, they're just blue collar fucking, like, they come from like poverty, man. They weren't rich kids, they were fucking dirt poor.
Right.
I don't know, I'm telling Jack something like, here's some information for your next documentary.
Wait, what?
Has Jack ever heard your intro for Ozzy? Because it's really...
fucking no.
You know that Sharon called Jimmy for a special Ozzy show out there in L.A.?
He wasn't around. It was they paid a tribute in the House of Blues. And it was for the Music Fest when he did the
Sunset Music. Yeah.
And there was a few of us on the show to pay tribute, and she kind of asked me as from a fan point of view, which was a great honor. Of course I did it. And I got a call in the hotel from. It was a great call. I mean, she's like, "Hi, it's Sharon and Ozzy," and they were on speakerphone and we're chatting. And she's like, "We would love to have you come to the show and be on stage with us." And of course, I went. And she goes, "Look, because we're on the street, I'm so fucking humiliated that we don't have a musical intro, which Ozzy does these funny music intros." So she goes, "Would you bring Ozzy on stage?" And
what an honor, right, Jimmy? And you did great,
dude. You never get to bring your fucking idol on stage. You just don't.
And I think you did a great job.
But I'm not a rock guy.
No,
I'm not a good motive. There's no need to play it. I'm fucking this.
What's wrong with you? Jack, you want to hear it?
I do want to hear this, actually. You built it up so much now. I was
meaning to tear
I don't know why
it down.
he's so embarrassed. I think it's one of the greatest rock intros ever.
It's really fucking awful. The only good thing about this was that Sharon said Simon heard it and it annoyed him.
Yeah,
because he was in his yard somewhere and we were outdoors.
It's quick, Jack. Here it is.
Are you ready? Come on, you motherfuckers! This isn't a Barry Manilow concert. Are you ready? Let me hear you make some noise. Ozzy Osbourne!
I would literally, I would rather hear tape of myself blowing someone.
Jack, I think you needed that in your film.
I know, right?
Red you are, Jimmy.
Maybe the director's cut. We can slide
get that in the director's cut.
Dude, that should have been the opening to the film, and then you just had people filing out 30 seconds into the movie. This is going to be fucking heinous.
Jimmy kind of likes Ozzy. So.
But it was very funny that your mom said that Simon heard that and it annoyed him so much because he was in the yard trying to have a nice time. He's like, "I heard somebody introducing your husband," which really, I was happy that I fucking ruined his night. I'm
Yelling. Can't even tell what he's saying.
Oh, just Barry Manilow. Wow, real rock intro.
Of all people, why Barry Manilow?
I wanted to clarify just in case they thought it might be.
Okay.
Hey, you still do that adrenaline stuff?
I mean, I don't.
Or are you done with that?
I don't have the show anymore, but I still, I'll still go.
You really
climbing.
enjoy getting out there?
Yeah.
What was the craziest thing you did?
Man, there was so many.
I loved when you climbed the. Was it officially a mountain or like?
It was El Cap in Yosemite.
And your parents were so nervous for you, Jack.
Oh, I was nervous for me.
Were you?
Oh, yeah, it was like 3,600 feet, like vertical.
Wow.
I mean, it's no joke.
Are you scared of heights?
No, not scared of heights, but it's there's no room for error when you're up that high.
So you look at Type A that likes to do stuff? Because I hate stuff like that.
I do. I go through phases. I'm more kind of I dip into a bit of Type A every now and then. But yeah, I just
anything you want to do you haven't done yet?
I want to go to Antarctica.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go.
It's cold there.
Yeah,
it is.
Bring a sweater.
Bring us a couple sweaters.
Definitely a little chilly.
Why Antarctica?
Because I don't know. I think it's like the bottom of the planet.
Right.
It's like a barren snow desert.
Yeah, that is.
That's actually the reasons I don't want to go there.
I've seen some shows on there, and there's just nothing going on down there.
Our,
there's a few little labs.
Yeah, what were
set up, and they stay there for months and months on end, and there's no way out. If you have a medical emergency, you got to pretty much do surgery on yourself.
What would you do there?
Well, they have like different, they have different kind of expeditions that set up down there. Like,
here's more ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's more white stuff.
I don't know if you've seen this, but there's some ice right there.
There's ice, and it goes down 80 miles. Wow,
does it really?
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that thing is just
my God.
It's pretty well frozen.
So why were you going on expeditions if everything looks the same?
Because that's cool. I know.
It's like some labs and scientific outposts.
There
and
is some
shit.
cool stuff down there.
It's like being on a Star Trek planet.
I guess they just found. They think there's like more oil there than in Saudi Arabia.
Drill. Start drilling. Do you watch videos of you? Because there's so much video of you as a kid. Do you watch it at all ever and go like, ugh, shut up?
Don't watch anything.
No,
nothing.
Would you assume or think it would be embarrassing for you now to watch it?
Yeah. I mean,
like, he's that little shithead. I'd smack him if I could.
Exactly. I mean, because but then again, it's like, have you ever go through like pictures or photo albums when you're like 15, 16? Yep. You're like, I was such an awkward little shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why he's asking that question because we've been doing radio a long time now. And when we hear old tapes,
I know it's like,
we really thought that was good.
But I think that continues through your whole life.
Yeah,
like I think in 10 more years you look back at yourself and go like, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, at least I think I hope you would think you could constantly keep improving or something. But
I've heard it referred to as the asshole infinity syndrome. Like, you always look back and think, I was an asshole last year. Oh, thank
but
God
the truth
I'm here.
of the matter is, you're always an asshole.
Every point you're going to look back on and think, oh, I sucked. And I watched tapes from my first couple of years of doing stand-up. It's literally humiliating. Like, I can't. It's exposing and fucking horrendous. And my girlfriend wanted to watch it. I'm like, I can't sit in the room with you. It's not like bombing. I can bomb. I don't care. It's humiliating on a weird level.
I mean, I don't know how you do stand-up. That's just, to me, like the scariest thing in the world.
Imagine.
It's like, I don't know. I mean, if I could sing, I would do that. Like, everybody wants to be a fucking rock star, and we can't be. So, like, you do anything you can, and for me, just being funny.
But you're just one guy on a stage, and it's like, hey, if I don't make these people laugh, I am going to get just lambasted.
Yeah, but you can go down on your own terms. The beauty of fucking, like when I'm in a comedy show, sometimes I'm fucking bombing. Like, I know I'm going to bring them all with me. Like, none of us are going to feel good when this is over. You know what I mean? It's like, I know I can fucking wreck their night a little bit if I have to. So that's kind of satisfying.
We're being told he has to go.
Jack said, okay.
Because you have a lot of interviews
man.
today.
Yes.
Busy man.
The documentary is, and again, as an Ozzy freak, it's easy for me to say it, but it really, even if you're not, Roland's not an Ozzy fan, and he fucking loved it.
He did love it, yeah. He's a Springsteen fan.
The boss man.
But I mean, hardcore, probably the biggest fan in the
Like,
country.
pretty
certainly.
much homo for him.
Does he wear like plain white T-shirts everywhere?
He
No,
wears
every
a
T-shirt he
Springsteen
has
shirt every
some
day.
kind of Springsteen crap on it.
Every
He won't
day.
stop.
He's been to how many
Enough
shows?
with Bruce.
250 or something like
Wow.
that. It's ridiculous.
It's a ridiculous thing.
One for every pound.
Yeah. So, but he loved it. Is the point we're making? And I don't even think.
Yes.
I don't think he knows one Black Sabbath or Ozzy song, and he loved it. So.
And he loved the concert footage, which was really, really, really good. It was a perfect mix of interviews. Ozzy's he's comic funny in it. Like, and I don't mean accidentally funny. He's saying funny shit.
Yeah.
He's really
hilarious.
He's hilarious.
He's always been great on the show here, and when you hear interviews, you know, he's always a funny guy, man.
And it's there's parts of it that are moving, very sad family stuff, but it's not maudlin. It was really, really well done. And where can people, before you go, where can people see this before?
It's playing 2 more times. I don't even know where. I'm sure I have it written down somewhere. But yeah, if you go to the Tribeca Film Festival website, it's playing 2 more times this week, well, during the festival. And then hopefully we're going to sell it in the next couple of weeks. And
And I know you tweeted, I think last night, you were nervous as hell.
Oh yeah,
because it's 3.5 years of your life, and you don't know how it's going to do.
Exactly.
Are you relieved today, Jack?
I was like drained yesterday when I didn't even go out and celebrate. I was out for like an hour and a half, went back to the hotel. And
how do you celebrate now if you're not doing the
Red Bulls and, you know.
the internet. It's a great way to celebrate alone, fucking jacking off.
My forearm is just ripped.
Doesn't feel like celebrating, though.
I like that movie, like, what is it, like a lady in the what was that movie? The M. Night Shyamalan movie where the guy had like the
Lady in the Water?
Lady in the Water, and the guy had like the one dieseled arm. That's me.
When did you get the feeling like, oh my God, this film's going to be accepted? People are definitely enjoying this.
Within like 5 minutes, when everyone was like in the theater, kind of cheering and clapping,
What a great feeling.
and like really getting into it, and it was, you know, that was when I was like, okay,
nice,
you know.
And then it all went away, all that stress, right? And all
a little bit.
tension.
I mean, it was real emotional for me too. Like I kind, it was really, you know, especially kind of sitting next to my mom and dad, and they were like tearing up at parts, you know, especially like, you know, we're saying like the Randy stuff, and that was, you know. It was. I feel good about it.
Right on. Good for you, man.
It's fantastic, and you know, you did a great fucking job, man. Honestly,
But you know, I can't take
job.
all the credit. You know, I had amazing team of guys. You know, the 2 Mike directors, and you know, Mark Weingart and Jordan Tapas. I mean, they you know, really everyone. It became a total passion project for everyone, and that's what kind of. You know, it helps. I mean, about 6 months ago, I was getting so fed up. I was like, all right. I literally was about to sell it to one of my directors. I was like, I'm getting
want out.
Right.
Yeah, I'm getting so drained from this whole process. I was like, I need to jump ship. You know, I just kind of
You hung in there.
yeah,
Good for you.
knuckled in.
Any other interests that you might want to delve into next?
I mean, there's talks about doing the Black Sabbath horror movies.
Oh shit.
So yeah, that's not it's not going to be about Sabbath
Right.
like killing people or anything.
Like the Kiss movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Geezer hitting him with a vegetable because he won't touch meat.
Before we let Jack go, you want to give him Ozzy's Beatles books that he forgot, or
No, oh yeah,
are
it's
you
a long
sure?
story. I bought for his birthday. I got Ozzy Beatle books, but he was
Ozzy
busy.
was in
No,
here?
I'm
Give him
gonna-
to
I'm
gonna
Ozzy.
see him in
3 hours.
You want to give him to Jack to give?
No,
to,
because
are you
Ozzy
sure?
be like, what the fuck are these? No, I'll give them to him when he comes back.
Ozzy was here. Jimmy wrapped Beatles books individually. Each book had different wrapping paper. Ozzy opened them up. He showed appreciation, but
liked them, yeah.
but he left them behind. And Jimmy's been sad ever since.
I have. It's one of the funniest clips ever. It's
It is
fucking
one of the
Ozzy
best
walking down the
clips ever.
hall and those books just sitting. And it
Sitting
served
there.
me right. The fucking nerve of me.
The thing about that though is that it's not just you.
Oh yeah.
I got my dad like this awesome like Mont Blanc like John Lennon limited edition pen, and it was in this nice box. I was like, Dad, look what I got you, and he opens it up and he goes, oh great, and just puts it down, walks off. It's just, you know what it is? It's like he's not. It's not that he does it intentionally. He's just like. He kind of doesn't need for anything because he has everything.
yeah.
So when you get him something, he's like, okay, thanks.
We're going to get Ozzy for the next time. It was just happened to be his birthday. I'm going to frame a photo of he and I, and I'm going to give it to him.
Oh God. You asshole.
But Jimmy's mistake to this day, the books weighed like 60. They were the heavy, big books.
There's a lot of shit on the Beatles. What do you want? Then
You should give him something nice and
I should have
light that
gotten
he
him
can put
one
in his.
small Beatles book, but I'm just a
All right.
compulsive
He's
asshole.
gotta go.
You should just get him
guy
like
at
a
the
little
window.
pet beetle.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Just like a
something he
dung
doesn't
beetle
have.
or like a stink bug or something.
All right, they're going to kill us. Jack,
Yeah,
is gonna-
Roland's panicking.
But listen, Jack, thank you, man. It's a great
Yeah.
documentary, and I'll plug these. I'll give the dates as soon as we come back to when it's playing again.
And it was a pleasure meeting you.
Hey,
man.
you too, guys.
We've met most of you now. So, Jack Osbourne, everyone. Come back and see us.
Absolutely.
Rob it, Rob it, Rob it, tell him, Fred, I invented everything.
Antonio.
Amy.